Mm. I love coffee. Good for the soul. First, before I start and get into the topic of this video, just want to give a shout out to Amanita Muscaria. I've been microdosing with oil every day, and it has helped me to integrate my shadow, the lost, unclaimed, rejected parts of myself. It truly is a wonderful medicine, and I would recommend communing with the spirit of Amanita. It's really transformative, helps us to accept and to let go of any sort of negative emotional attachment we have to any aspects of ourselves which are unfavourable or parts that we've been taught to hide. And to that end, I want to talk about shame, guilt. Shame and guilt, to me, feels like the anchor that has kept humanity in its infancy of consciousness until we can shake shame and guilt, which is in essence one flavour of fear. Then we can never feel good enough to assume the form which is going to bring about the greatest change, the most joyful, peaceful life. As a child, I seemed to spend a lot of time being embarrassed. I remember that familiar rush of blood to the head. I remember that very clear awareness that I had gone bright red in the company of people who could also very obviously notice this. And that embarrassment of being seen for who I am, who I was in any moment, goes hand in hand with shame, you know, and therefore guilt. I shouldn't have done that. I was only ever really validated for my intelligence as a child, not my creativity, not my unique personality or my loving nature. So I never really truly was able to measure myself as an individual. So anytime my individuality wanted to make itself known, my weirdness, that which makes me stand out, in those moments of being in the spotlight, I felt immense pressure. And it was quite a paradox because I spent a lot of time seeking validation and attention and then not being comfortable with it. As an adult, I embarked on a journey of self to self and really cultivated a deep appreciation for who I am. After realising that that's the name of the game, right? And slowly to withdraw this need for external validation, but Throughout this journey, there have been many experiences, many choices, or non-choices really, when we act out of our unconscious, or from a wounded place, or from a fearful vibration. You get to understand the intricacies of the human condition, and especially what we're calling survival mode, how humans are capable of unthinkable acts of violence to other and to self, or even things which might be deemed disturbing to the soul or shameful relative to, I don't know what, the norm, the average. For example, having lived on the streets and having signed up for particular addictions in this life to work through, to understand, and I have been a smoker of tobacco for many years, and the thing about this society is it's very expensive to be poor, and poverty is intricately linked with addiction. There's a certain amount of alienation involved with being lower middle class, I don't know, working class. So I know what it is to pick cigarettes up off the floor, half-smoked cigarettes, and smoke them. And to do this in public, in the streets, in city centres, all of this, it's a great exercise in humility and not giving a fuck what people think. Obviously, other people can project this idea, and they have done. One man was shouting at me in the street, trying to cast shame on me after I picked up some dog ends off the floor. Really, he was saying if that was me, I would feel ashamed. And I did no more than just say to him, what are you talking about? No, I will not feel shame. Because that's what the world wants. I am pleased with who I am in totality. Are there aspects of my life that quote unquote need to change or will change? Yeah. But acceptance is how we set the foundation for change. You can't change what you don't accept. Anyway, a few days ago, I was travelling on a train without a ticket to get from Cheshire to Edinburgh. And the inspector did not allow me to travel without a ticket, despite my sub-story. Despite my, I had just offered him the opportunity to act as a compassionate human, and he chose not to. And on a packed train, told me to leave. I was sitting opposite two engineers, and I had been engaged in conversation with these men. And after I was preparing to leave the train, and I could feel this embarrassment or shame, like leper syndrome. I'm not so sure it was mine, to be honest. But I felt it, and I smiled at it. and I packed my bags and left at the next station. Shame is second guessing or pretending that things could have been different. The religiosity of the society and the culture we find ourselves in thrives on shame, because the only way you can buy into a false God is to misinterpret God. Shame and unworthiness feeds straight into that system. But we are here to free ourselves from all of the bondage, every single shackle. So, this is just a call for you to shamelessly be who you need to be in order to be who you are. Let's put shame to bed.